Take your time. MP Ottley, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, good day to my honorable colleagues, the Honorable Minister of Finance, her support staff, and the viewing and listening public. I was not here for the notifications, but allow me to start by wishing strength to the York family, who is also family of mine. We definitely have to put our foot down. We definitely have to be examples for our youth. And we realize that more and more with these senseless acts of violence, especially gun violence, we are seeing the ages decrease. I think it's important, and that's why I made it clear a couple months ago when we had this urgent meeting, it cannot only be about that one incident that happened. And to the public, it looks like we did everything we needed to do because of that one incident, and now no one else matters. And that is what I was saying. We as a parliament need to, if it's pressure the minister, call the minister, and you're right, I have the right to do so as well. And we need to come together, bring initiatives, and that's why it kind of worries me when I see certain deductions from the police force in the budget amendment, and especially going into the busy season and the Christmas season. What is being done to protect our stores on Front Street, stores on Back Street, stores in Maho? That will need extra manpower. We will need extra budget. So it bothers me. And that's why I keep saying and cautioning the government, please stop looking at this budget amendment as only 2 more months. Only 2 more months. It is very well high probability that this budget will take you a couple months in 2025. We need to act now as it pertains to justice. We need to act now as it pertains to protection. We saw a video the other day, bold-faced, right in the day, on a attempt robbery at the store in Front Street. Bold-faced, well-planned, well-orchestrated, come in a car, leave on a bike. What is our protection mechanism? We speak of businesses. When it's election time, we go through Front Street, everybody wants votes. But what are we doing now to ensure them their protection? When Christmas comes and they're closing the door and letting us in one by one and creating a fear-mongering system for our tourists, we're going to be upset. So I would like to know, ask this question through you, Honorable Chair, to the Minister of Justice. What is your plans for the season? Does the police have enough budget allocated for one overtime? And also to the Honorable Prime Minister, as VKS falls under the AZET, what is the plans for VKS? Can we beef up that system for the season? Is there budget left to beef up that system for the season? I move to some general questions and comments. Madam Chair, every minister clearly stated their staff, their consultants, their labor contracts, what the amount was. For some odd reason, the Honorable Prime Minister is dancing around this question. I don't know how much clearer I need to make it. I need to know all labor contracts during your term, Honorable through you, Madam Chair, during the Prime Minister's term, and the amount, and the names of the companies / or person. I think it's very clear. Today, I hear the Honorable Minister of Finance states that the 75.6 million is a backup in case GB cannot get financing. This is the first time I'm hearing it brought in this manner, because it was brought as, especially with the drawn-out speech by the Honorable Prime Minister to my colleague MP Arian, this is the only option remaining. This is the only option, and I want your support. And I need your support because it's doom and gloom, and if we don't, it's a national crisis. I need your support because I will fix it. Now today, the Honorable Minister of Finance said it's a backup, which means, again, the possibility for GEBE to obtain its own loan is there. Again, through you, Madam Chair, the Honorable Prime Minister sat over there and said, we took this option because the financiers did not want to support GEBE. What is funny to me, Madam Chair, GEBE purchases or rents 10 generators. I would like to know, what is the company used for these generators? What is the amount used for those 10? Because when they were asked, when I listened to press briefing and the Honorable Prime Minister was asked, it's confidential, it's confidential. Well, now I need to know the pricing. I need to know who is the company, and I need to know what date was that agreement signed for those 10 generators. I would also like to know, Madam Chair, through you, what company was used for the 20 generators that just came? Who purchased those generators? And also, what is the amount? What date was that contract signed? Was board approval given? Because for a company that seems to don't have money to buy these things, it's a bit contradictory. Sir Martin, let me paint a clear picture, a clear picture of what is going on. We have a structure where we are paying the loan for the Causeway Bridge. We, Sir Martin, the people. Bridge was constructed, and they needed a way to pay for the bridge. Rightfully so, we all use the bridge. But what happens is, a fee is instated from the harbor, goes to Sol. Sol breaks down their bills, including their turnover tax, and pass it on to their consumer. Their consumer absorbs that cost from Sol, adds it to their bill, including their turnover tax, and passes it on to the people of St. Martin. And then you ask why your bill is so high. Then we want to know, why is the fuel clause higher than my actual bill? St. Martin, we are paying double taxation. When I was a contractor, the government told me, when you submit your bills, you cannot put TOT in it. It is not the responsibility of the government to pay you TOT to pay back the government. Well, I'm saying, through you, Madam Chair, to the Honorable Minister of Finance, or any relevant minister, please pay attention to what is happening in the fuel clause. Do not allow these businesses to transfer the entire debt on, and ends at the people's doorstep. If that was the case, we might as well have put a toll on the bridge or something where we just pay for it, and it would have been much cheaper. In the fuel clause, for example, we have different fees: MCP, freight, throughput fee, remittance tax, ocean losses we are paying for, CIF, MKT diff, service fee, TOT, all accumulating to the net price. This is why your fuel clause is so high, Sir Martin. And when Sol, the gas stations, GEBE, anyone buys from Sol, they acquire this bill. And then what they do is, everything that they're supposed to pay to the Sol, that Sol is supposed to pay to the harbor, they add in the bill, and we pay. Now today, I could focus and say, and jump all high, jump low, and be all over the government. But that's not the case today. Today, GEBE needs to take responsibility. And I hope this government will hold them accountable. Because we can't keep rewarding those that messed up. Central bank messed up. It's not a secret. But we were called to save the day. We were called now for our people to save the day. Again, we were not in the dire need that Curacao was in. And then what we see now, Central Bank, big and bold. Muller Bay, discussions, up for sale, starting the discussions already. And that was the thing. That was my problem. We are called to always save the day. And what is in it for us? What is in it for us? And we can say Muller Bay was never ours, but it was our engine. And it was clearly stated, while it would benefit St. Martin to acquire Muller Bay for a cheaper price, it doesn't benefit Central Bank. They need it for the most they can get it. And then St. Martin has to pay matching rate plus 5%. Plus 5%. Through you, Madam Chair, there are hundreds, I could think I'm over-exaggerating, hundreds of persons living on this island without electricity. It is that bad. I know of a family member that just had a stroke. A walking man. And it's only when the ambulance went to his house, they found out he was without electricity for months. I know a senior couple that had anxiety that ended up at the hospital when they saw their bill. Think I'm lying? Put yourself in their shoes that you get a bill that says 10, 20,000 and you're going to be disconnected. And GB said, I want 50%. Put yourself in their shoes as a working man or woman, and you look at your kid, and you know it's no way you can afford that 50%. And what happens is, when we say, create relief, people say, well, GB ain't getting money, but GB is losing thousands and thousands. Because there are persons who are willing to pay their bill and can pay their bill on a monthly basis, but they cannot pay that lump sum. So by GEBE not accepting a payment, whether it's under 50% or a payment that they want that the person on minimum wage cannot afford, you are losing money. You're losing present revenue and future revenue. Allow these persons back on your system and watch your finances start to roll in. You can't ask me, the Parliament, the people for money when you have the money out there. And I know some are going to say, rightfully so, some people did not pay their bills. So GB needs to collect. Okay, well then you disconnect. Now you're making no money. Let's make sense from nonsense. And the Honorable Minister of Finance, you're about the sense. You're about both sense, in your brain and in the pocket. It makes no sense that you are not collecting. And then you are denying persons, those vulnerable persons, of a basic human right. Electricity is in the concession agreement. Electricity needs to be seen as a basic human right.